Hi all, thought I'd have another game this morning. I'd like to pick up on one question made from a game earlier this morning when I doubled pawns playing black. I think the question was why I did that. Well, I was getting some G-file compensation. But if we generalise from that, sometimes you have to give the opponent something like double pawns to attack. If you get something else, like G-file, so it's this balance. Or I think, as Silman was referring to imbalances, and if you think about it, each opening, leads to a set sometimes of different imbalances. So even, if you play the Sicilian, E4 C5, you're giving white something, and you're getting something that's black, So openings lead to particular imbalances in the position, and some of them are more long term than others. So here, black's accepting being cramped, and I've got this aggressive pawn chain. But maybe there's F6 opportunities in G5 later for black. I do like this variation. Statistically, this is brilliant for me, especially after King E2 and H4. So talking about G5. Oh dear. Okay. Do I want G4 to happen? Probably not, because otherwise D4 is going to be on the line. G4 there might be H5. Alright, what about actually Bishop E3? Allow G4 to happen. As long as I'm supporting D4 for the moment. Okay. Alright. Can I take and then back to E3? So getting the dark squared bishop. It's nice to have the two bishops, but the dark squares are weak in the French defence anyway, so giving up the dark square bishop, I'm not sure that's a brilliant idea. If I have knight F3 coming soon, or in fact here, knight F3, queen B2, can I just castle? If G5, can I just play knight G5? And look at the F file. Okay, let's see. Knight F3, G4, knight G5, knight D4. As knight takes F7 maybe. But then knight C2 check. Gets a bit messy. But in that line, maybe I can just castle. But then again, yeah, I think that line, the F7, is in trouble. I missed that one. Okay, so let's just. I think I can take on G5 though. Just allowing it to take on D3. Poor light squared bishop gone. But compensation F file. So again, it's these compensations from either side. I like to call them, if you can get better strategic trump cards than your opponent. So that's my spin on imbalance theory, that you don't just want to imbalance the position, you want your cards to be better than the opponent, whatever they are. So here, what are the cards? The F file pressure. What are black's cards? My central pawns which are being blown up at the moment. At the moment I've got the two bishops, but he can rob me of the light squared bishop. There's a nice pin at the moment, but on the other hand, this F file, it's a difficult balance to actually assess. Maybe it depends on specific resources found, who's going to prove which elements are stronger. If I found a crushing sack on F7, then I'm proving that the F file might be more significant than my centre being blown up. But it's tricky to find the relevant resources to support what strategic trump cards you've got. But so here, will he play like knight D4 or something? So F6. Right. So could I just play knight F3? Or tactically, is there anything special going on? Can I just castle FG? I don't think so. I think safer just to play knight F3. could take on e5 and force knight takes e5 again. Because f takes this bishop g6. If I did that and just castled, then f6 would be attacked. So I think I'm going to do that actually. Okay, my castle here. Right, so I'm going to get done over. Let's see. Threatening f6 and queen g6. Could castle queenside. But if I play rook f6, that looks nice positionally because you know, the dark squares. If I can get a bishop to e5, if I knock out f6, maybe I should slip in rook c1. I'm not sure if that just improves his position if the king goes to b8. Okay, here. Right, seemingly holding things up. But can I just play rook takes f6? Mad hack attack. Takes, rook f1, king e7, bishop g5, king e8, queen g6. It looks pretty dangerous actually. I think I'm going to go for it. This is what I mean. If you've got strategic trump cards, you've got to be able to tactically like exploit them as well. Otherwise, there's no point having them. It's like, you know, having stuff but not really using it. So so tactically, is this working? King takes, rook f1, king e7, bishop g5. What about king d6? Maybe I've got at least a draw there. Is there anything stronger here though? Now that we've got this position, bishop g5. I think rook f1 is okay. I think there's at least a draw in the king d6 line because check. You have to go back, so that's at least the draw. This is looking like one of Kotov's artificial positions where you calculate the move trees. I don't you know, for the different possibilities of where the black king will go, and white's like got a crushing attack. I think actually king g7. What was wrong with king g7 there? Maybe he's not awake or something. Because here, actually, king d6, maybe there's queen g3, king c6. The king's going to walk over here. Is that really the case? Queen g3, king c6. Okay, e5 looks harmless. King c6, rook c1. King comes out there. There's rook c5 if nothing else, because king there. Oh, queen d5, there's bishop b5. So maybe I've got to be careful. So bishop f4 check. I wonder, this does seem like a load of nonsense if I'm missing something actually. Queen g3, king c6. Rook c1, king b5. Surely I'm missing the idea of queen d3 check there. This can't be right. Surely. For the king to be checked, to have to go like to a5 or a4. Rook c1, king b5, queen d3, and then there's two moves: king a4, king a5 b4 check, king a4. And I just can't believe the king can survive that. But I'm probably going to lose on time at this rate, so I better start doing this stuff. I think there's bishop d2 actually as a resource of king a5. If king a4, yeah, that's the tricky one. King a4. Maybe b4 here. Oh, queen d1. Right, queen b4 to stop any queen b3 resource. So I'm threatening queen d1 potentially. Oh, there's rook c8 though coming up. So I'm not sure I've got a mating net anymore actually. Rook c8, rook c5. Maybe. Oh dear. I think the king might be escaping. Optimism. I'm trying to hold out for queen c2. So bishop c1 and queen c2. He's got queen e2. b5 threatening queen b4. But he's got queen d1 now. And my king's probably in trouble. So this didn't turn out very well. Oh dear. Oh. Yeah. You gotta laugh, you gotta laugh. Maybe it wasn't that sound, I don't know. Was the king really escaping here? I think bishop f4 was a good bailout. Oh well. Comments or questions on YouTube.